both distance learning and when they are back at school. This video will also show you how you can access those sites if you are not using a school-issued laptop. The first set of sites that I'm going to show you how to navigate to are the student Google accounts. All students in Fairfax County Public Schools are given a Google account as soon as they are issued a student ID number. This Google account will follow them as long as they are in Fairfax County Public Schools. It will remain the same if they go to another school. Their password, however, may change from year to year because of requirements to change passwords every year. In order to get to the Fairfax County Google Suite, the easiest way to do it is to go to www.fcps.edu and go to the Fairfax County Public Schools homepage. Many important links can be found here in this bar at the top of the screen, but your Google Suite, your Google account, will be right here. You're going to click this in order to get to the home screen to log in. So I'm going to click here, and it will take you to the login screen. If you have already logged into your account, it will have your child's student ID number up here and at fcpsschools.net. However, if you have not logged into the account before, your screen will look like this, where it's going to prompt you to enter your email, and it will have at fcpsschools.net here. At Fairfax County Public Schools, we do not use the traditional @gmail.com. However, we do have our own domain called at fcpsschools.net. You're going to enter your student's ID number here before at fcpsschools.net. So if my student's ID number was 12345, my student's login name for Google would be 12345 at fcpsschools.net. You will then enter the same password that you use to log into other platforms. Double check with your child's teacher about what their password might be. But the password should be the same across most platforms here in Fairfax County Public Schools. After you have entered your password, click Next. And it will take you to your Google Drive. Your Google Drive is going to be the place where students can house their documents that they're creating. They can share documents with teachers, and teachers can share documents with them. They can also get to all of their Google apps for education within their Drive. So the first app that students will use frequently in order to get into their Blackboard Connect site, if their teacher is sending it there, is their Gmail account. Now, this is a little different than the traditional gmail.com because this is run out of our FCPS network. So in order to get to your student's Gmail account, you're going to want to click this 3x3 set of dots up here. Many of our students and teachers call it the waffle. It looks a little bit like a toaster waffle. And you're going to go, you'll notice up here, you'll see Gmail. So when you click on this, you are already logged into your child's Gmail account, and all of your Gmail, all of your email addresses, all of your emails, rather, will show up here. Now, students will have automatically been given a folder here entitled BBCU Links, and in here, if you click on that, their BBCU links are automatically grabbed and placed into this folder. So check there first for their BBCU links. Double check with their teacher too about which email address they are sending it to, whether it's a parent email address or their FCPS Gmail address. All right, the next site that students frequently will go to is their Google Classroom. And when you're logged into your G Suite, it doesn't matter whether you are in one Google app or another. As long as you have that waffle up here, you are able to navigate to other Google apps. So if a student wants to get to their Google Classroom, they can click here and then scroll down, and you should see this app here for Google Classroom. If it doesn't appear toward the top of the student's Google apps, Just scroll down and it should be there, okay? Usually it might show up here in the More apps, but when you frequently start using an app, it'll pop up here to these apps. So just as with Gmail, once they have logged into their G Suite, they're already logged into their Google Classroom. Their login will remain in place for 24 hours, and then after 24 hours, students will be prompted to log in again. So you can click that link and it will take you to all of the students' Google Classrooms. Every single classroom that your child is a part of will show up here. If they want to go to a student's Google or a teacher's Google Classroom, all they have to do is click and it'll take them to their Google Classroom. Work for your students will appear here on the stream, or it could be either depending on the settings the teacher has set it. Classwork will show up here under classwork. Many teachers will use different topics in order to organize student work. If a teacher asks them to go to a Google Meet, then they can also get to their Google Meet link by going to their Google Classroom. When the teacher generates the Meet link and makes it live, it'll appear here in the headline or the header of their Google Classroom. The next website students need to navigate to during distance learning is the iReady assessment page. And the way that students can get there on a home computer is to go to www.fcps.edu/US, and that stands for Universal Screener. When you go here, you should see this Universal Screener website. Keep scrolling down, and you'll see a prompt to log into iReady. Click here. Students will log in using their student ID number and password. So once again, if my child's ID number is 12345, they're going to type their ID number, 12345, and then they're going to use their FCPS issued password. Double check with their teacher to see what their password might be. After they've done that, click Login, and it will take them to the Universal Screener homepage. The final set of sites that I'm going to show you how to log into and navigate to are many of the Fairfax County sites that teach students are using for practice with language arts and mathematics. So in order to get there, you're going to want to go to our Fort Belvoir website. So for that, you're going to start typing in Fort Belvoir es.fcps.edu. You can also just go to Google and do a search for Fort Belvoir Elementary School, and that will also take you to our homepage. Okay, so here is our Fort Belvoir Elementary homepage. This will have many important announcements that might pop up during the school year. It's good to check every couple of days or so, because we will have links to things like technology support and any upcoming meetings that might be happening. To get to a list of different sites that students might use, go to Full Menu, and then you're going to go to Student Links. Here are many of our frequently used websites. Blackboard 24/7 is another learning management system that students might log into. Here you will have your link to get there. If you would like to log into your child's Blackboard 24/7 site, they will use their student ID number and their FCPS issued password to log in. This is also where students can get to many sites that they might use, such as Myon. Here's another link to your Google Drive, and the Clever app, which is where students can log into ST Math and Imagine Learning. Many other sites can also be found here for your students to go ahead and practice. For sites such as Myon and the Clever app, your child will log in. Well, for Myon, we'll go to Myon first. Go ahead and click Login. Go ahead and do a search for Fort Belvoir. It'll start auto-populating. And then your child's username would be their student ID number, and their password would be their FCPS issued password. If your child is logging into Clever, after you've hit the C, you're going to click Login with LDAP. They're going to use their student ID number and password to log in as well. Due to the volume of people using Clever and using STMath and Imagine Learning, there have been some issues lately with the speed at which the program is running. Parents have also been saying that they've been having some issues with the program continuing on. Please contact me if you are having any of these issues. You can also put in a request IT ticket. And if you would like to put in a request IT ticket in order to notify us that there is a problem with your piece of technology or a program that you are using, you can go back to the Fort Belvoir Elementary School homepage. And then you're going to go down here for your technology support. And on this page, it'll have many troubleshooting options that you have, as well as a link for parents to get to the Request IT page to put in for an issue.